I think it's really hard to find a foundation that doesn't make us look older, look cakey, or accentuate those fine lines and wrinkles. So today I'm doing the ultimate foundation test, and I've got no idea how it's going to go. I am testing 10 different foundations today on my 61-year-old skin. And we're going to find out how easy they are to apply, how well they cover, what they feel like on the skin, what they look like on the skin, and whether I feel these foundations make me look older or younger, and which ones allow my natural skin to glow through. I have bought all of these foundations myself, so there is nothing here I'm pushing or promoting, so every single foundation is going to get an equally fair review. And right at the very end, I will rank these from what I think personally is the 10 up to the number 1, and I think it's the best foundation for mature skin. Let's get going. So the first ones we are trialing are going to be the Estée Lauder Double Wear, and we've got the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Rather than going through all the details, I'll just pop all the details above the actual bottles when I'm talking about it, and then you can see what they are regarding price, etc. These I feel are best applied with a brush. I've got 2 identical brushes. We're trying to make it as even as we possibly can. Let's start off with the Estée Lauder Double Wear. I'm going to apply a little bit to the back of my hand. I'm going to be putting it into the brush. And let's have a look what this is like. I am not going to be doing colour corrector or any under eye concealer or any other makeup. This is purely on foundation. So I will take it up underneath the eye because I want to see how it settles into those fine lines. I wouldn't normally do that, but let's give it the ultimate test. Estée Lauder Double Wear, first of all, it is a lovely product. I mean, Estée Lauder's a fantastic range of products, but I still feel that the Estée Lauder Double Wear is a very heavy coverage. If that's what you want, it's a great foundation, but it's very easy to over apply the Double Wear, and therefore you do make it look heavier than it needs to be. Just feel that looks patchy. It also feels, now it's on, like it's, I want to say caking already. It's like it's got a powder in it, so it's setting itself. Ease of application, it's not that easy to apply. It's better with a brush. You could use a beauty blender, but it's one of those foundations. It almost sets as it goes onto your skin, so it's drying on the skin. I think if you've got a dry or sensitive skin, the Double Wear is definitely not for you. However, if you've got a more oily type of skin, it could be a good foundation because it is slightly drying on the skin. Let's now try the Airless Flawless. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. A little tiny bit at the back of my hand, clean brush. It feels patchy, the colour's all wrong. It's already caking. It just feels like a mask. No. Do you see what I mean about the mask? It is just a mask on my face. At least there, we have got an element of skin coming through, slightly, but we've got an element of skin coming through. I think it's already accentuating fine lines. I just feel I want to take it off. These almost sum up what I think are the biggest mistakes people make with foundation. They go for a heavier coverage and it's also aging. Far prefer the Estée Lauder Double Wear to the Charlotte Tilbury. This, I know already I've got 10 foundations. This is going to be number 9 or number 10. There's a close rival. This could be number 9 of my 10 foundations. The next 2 are the Laura Geller, the Baked Balance and Glow, and we've got one here by MAC and it's called Studio Fix. So these 2 sort of compact foundations. The Laura Geller actually comes with what's called like a kabuki brush, they call it. So that is the brush that comes with it. So we're applying that with a brush. However, the MAC Studio Fix has an applicator sponge that comes in it. So I'll be using that on that side. Same preparation on the skin, same moisturiser and the same primer. Let's do the Laura Geller first. This is in shade medium, and we apply this with a good sort of waft on the brush. And let's really work that into the skin. You do sometimes need to go back into the compact. Ease of application, I mean dead easy. The brush is a lovely textured brush. It doesn't feel itchy or tickling on the skin. Some brushes you get are quite hard when you're stippling onto your face. It actually irritates and scratches your skin. This is a lovely soft brush. You don't have to use the Laura Geller brush. This is one you pay extra for it. Of course you do. You can use any sort of blusher brush or large sort of powder brush that you have. They would work perfectly well. So ease application is great. Coverage, okay, my skin's a bit pink on that side. We're losing a little bit of pinkness on that side. I think it's what I would call light coverage, very light coverage. My natural skin definitely comes through. I thought it would feel a little bit more drying on my skin, and it doesn't. My skin still feels relatively soft. Yeah, if you want a very easy, very simple coverage, that actually works quite well. I think if you have the rest of your makeup on, that would be rather a nice fresh day makeup. Let's try the MAC now. Colour I've got, this is like a medium colour, and you take this on the sponge applicator that comes in. It's actually quite clever because you've got a little compartment underneath to put that, and so you're not having to keep the sponge applicator on the powder. And I'm going to apply this with the sponge that they give you. Okay, so ease of application is actually harder than it looks. I know that may sound weird because it's just a sponge, but it feels like you're putting it on and it sort of stays in the area and you've got to sort of keep working around it. It's what I would call, maybe the phrase was the old pancake makeup. If you remember the pancake makeup, it feels like that. The texture on my skin just feels quite soft, but it just feels like a theatrical makeup. That's how it feels like, theatrical makeup. And I think it's visible as well. I think if you look at my face head on, definitely theatrical. So out of these, I did mention before with the Charlotte Tilbury, that could be 9 or 10. Charlotte Tilbury is still number 10. It's still the worst. And I think that's going to be placed at number 9. I'm giving the game away now, but I think we've got 9 and 10 already sorted, which means the best is yet to come. Happy days. What I do think about the Laura Geller, it's probably the least aging on the skin so far. It's not settling the fine lines. I also think it's got a very slight sheen, a sort of glow to it around there, which of course is lovely on mature skin, which is why the MAC I think is completely dead. I think it's completely flat. I think it's settling to fine lines, and that is very aging on the skin. So avoid the pancake makeup, avoid those heavy cakey makeups. You can see there straight away what we want is for that natural skin to glow through. The next two foundations I've got, these are quite different. These are like the BB creams. This one is by L'Oreal and the other one is by LUXE. Now, if you're on social media, you may have seen the LUXE foundations. It's everywhere. Well, I think once you see one, they come up, don't they? But this has been promoted as one of the best foundations for mature skin. They're very, very similar in what they do and how they work because these are colour changing foundations. They go on looking like a light cream and then they change in colour to match your skin texture. So you will see with the product here, it's just a very light cream, but when that's applied to the skin, if I just massage it in a little tiny bit, you'll see it then starts to change colour. A bit more, changing colour, and this goes in a little bit like a moisturiser. Ease of application, it could not be easier. If you can apply a moisturiser, you can apply this. I think it gives a really even coverage. You almost can't get it wrong. You can take it up underneath the eyes. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It doesn't cake. It doesn't crease. And it feels really soft and fresh on the skin. So it's a very low cost product. And I think it has a really lovely effect. The LUXE is the one, this is what's been promoted all over social media. I've seen some really big influencers and they talk about foundation and at the end they go, and of course this is the one for mature skin. I bought this, it's not been gifted because I wanted to find out if all the hype was real or not. So same sort of thing. It is a light cream when it goes on the skin and it works on the same principle. So you massage it into the face. Can you see it's starting to change colour? Take the edges. So for me, the big test here is whether I prefer the LUXE or the L'Oreal. Oh gosh, now then. Well, I have to say, I really like that. It does come with an applicator brush, but because that goes on over fingers, I wanted to do it the same way. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see in camera, but I think that side actually covers beautifully. It looks fresh. My natural skin comes through. It's not settling into lines. It doesn't feel at all cakey. It doesn't feel at all drying. It's dead easy to apply. I mean, really easy to apply. I think it gives a coverage, but that coverage is a translucent coverage. It's not covering up imperfections, pigmentation mark. This is where it gives your skin an element of glow. Your natural skin comes through. It's almost the foundation that you wear when you just want something really light, really fresh, and just to look and feel a little bit better than your own natural skin. So I've got 4 more foundations to go, and I'm convinced that my top 2 are going to be in the next 4. Let's wait and see. The next 2 foundations I'm showing you though, these are what you call like colour match foundations. You buy these online and they analyse your skin, and then they will send you a sort of colour matched foundation. This is by DCYPHER, and your camera takes images of your face, which gives you what they say is a true match foundation. This one's by Makiage. It's called I Woke Up Like This. It's a flawless base foundation. The Makiage, you do get the brush with it. So you get the Makiage sort of brush. I have 2 of these. I used these previously, so I have cleaned them. They are completely clean. And we're going to use these for these 2 foundations. Same method of application. Shall I do the DCYPHER first? Now, you do get different finishes with the DCYPHER, so you can choose between like a matte or a satin or a glossy finish, and also different levels of coverage, from a light coverage to a heavy coverage. I just went with a medium sort of satin, sort of glow effects. This is what they sent me to true match to my skin, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what you think. One thing with DCYPHER though, they have a colour match guarantee. If it's not right, you have one option to go back and change it. I did that because this is the original one they got. And I don't think that that is a good match at all. In fact, I think that just looks ghostly. And this is a colour match foundation. I don't actually like the coverage. It feels slightly oily. So if you've got a very, very dry skin, it might be better for you. But I just feel it just emphasises open pores, fine lines. I don't think it's flattering on my skin at all. In fact, I think this is very aging on my skin. I really wasn't impressed at all. It's not a cheap foundation either. Application of it, it just doesn't feel nice to apply. It just doesn't feel like part of my skin. I can still feel it on top of my skin. I think the colour match was terrible, so I went back and got 2 shades darker, and it's better, but not amazingly better. Let's just have a little look. If I show you the new colour they sent me, I'll just take off a small section here. You should look at that difference. How more visible could that be? Okay, my skin looks slightly pink because basically I'm taking foundation on and off, on, off, on, off, and the room also is pretty warm. So that's the original one I got. It's hardly been used. This is the new one that they sent me. 2 shades darker. I don't think it's incredibly different. Don't like it. Sorry, DCYPHER. Makiage, can you do any better? This one, same principle. I'm going to use the brush for this. Feels a very, very light coverage. So just let me put a little bit more on there. Stipple that in. Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's much nicer than the DCYPHER. The colour match is so much better. Ease of application, it's a liquid foundation. You need to work with it, but it's not as hard to apply as things like the Estée Lauder Charlotte Tilbury, which really were like putting on something that just dries instantly as soon as it touches your skin. This still has got an element of pliability, so it's not drying straight away. It doesn't seem overly heavy. It has far more coverage than the BB creams. So it is far better if you've got imperfections, pigmentation marks. The Makiage does have a heavier coverage without being blocky. So it hasn't got that sort of caked look on your face. My skin still feels like it can come through. It can still breathe behind it. You've got an element of that glow. I think that is a very nice, fuller coverage makeup. The Makiage definitely has a much better coverage and consistency to the DCYPHER. This is the benefit of me doing this. It's almost interesting for me to see how it turns out, because when you apply a foundation on your face and you see that as one coverage, you think, well, that's it. But if you apply it next to another foundation you've got, you have a comparison. And if I am comparing my DCYPHER to my Makiage, well, there is no comparison. I would definitely 100% use the Makiage. That, I'm afraid, that's going in my drawer of video demonstration of products I don't like. Okay, so I'm down to my last two foundations, and I am really intrigued to find out what happens here because I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'll tell you the reason why. These two are my L'Oreal True Match Nude Foundation compared to my Victoria Beckham foundation drops. This is the most expensive foundation I own and have ever owned. I absolutely love it. This is what I wear for special occasions, and you only need a tiny amount. This is the newest foundation I have in my collection, and I've got a funny feeling that they're very, very similar. Let's have a go. So let me apply, and we're using my fingers here. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I think I need 4 drops there. And I'm applying this with my fingers. And the reason I'm using my fingers is because I always use my fingers for the Victoria Beckham foundation drops. So I wanted to make it as even as possible. It's a serum-based foundation. So it feels really silky, it feels really smooth. It glides onto the skin. I think it gives a lovely, fresh, natural coverage. I don't think it's at all cakey. It doesn't feel like a mask. I don't think it's aging on the skin. I feel that my skin still breathes and still comes through. I'd class it as a low to medium coverage. So it's not covering pigmentation marks or any imperfections, but what it is doing is giving your skin that sort of glow and fresh glow. You are wearing makeup, but your skin is still coming through. I really, really like it. With the foundation drops, you do need to shake them. She calls it wake them up. You need to shake it. You only need a tiny drop, which is why the money you pay for it, actually, you get a lot more for your money than you think. And let me show you. Okay, it's 1/2 of my face, but look at the amount I have on there. It is tiny, tiny. Okay, you can see the amount I've got on there. Let me dab that over my skin. I said a tiny amount. I'm going to put a tiny, 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 tiny little drop more. You see how just easy it spreads. It feels like you're massaging silk into the skin. You need so little and it goes so far. And I think it just gives a wonderful, fresh coverage. Okay, Victoria, what is my verdict? Ease of application, first of all. So easy. It just slides on the skin. There's no pull, there's no tugging. Really, it's just the smoothest, most beautiful product. Coverage, again, is that sort of low to medium coverage. Now, you can build it. In fact, I'll try it with both of them about building. You can build it to get heavier coverage. But looking at my skin there, okay, if I take my finger over my skin there, it's moving my skin. If I take my finger over there, it sort of glides on top of the skin. It feels like that's over smooth, polished marble. If only my skin was smooth, polished marble. It is not. And there it's like I'm gliding over a wooden table. Is that harsh on my skin? But what I mean is I can feel my skin. I feel the texture. There I don't. It just blurs. It matches my skin beautifully. I'm just going to go and see if you wanted a heavier coverage. So the Victoria Beckham, just got another slight amount because it is a building foundation. So let's just see how it goes if we do want a heavier coverage. I know people say, I would never pay that for a foundation and it's all down to a name. I'm afraid Victoria Beckham, whatever she's made in that is wonderful. It is the best foundation for me and my skin. Now that, again, the feel of it's different. I'm applying that and it just glides. I'm applying this and my skin's moving. So let me tell you what I think and let me summarise what I like and what I don't like. Should we put these in order of my worst down to my favourites? At 10, I don't think it's any surprise, we have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. There is nothing about this foundation that I like. I don't like the way it goes on the skin. I don't like the way it looks on the skin. I don't like the way it feels on the skin. The only nice thing I can say about this foundation is it comes in quite a nice container. Number 9, we have the MAC Studio Fix. It's pancake, it's theatre makeup, it's too hard. Anything like this, where you're applying it with a sponge, it's a cake foundation, they dehydrate the skin, they will set into fine lines, they will make you look older. Number 8 is my DCYPHER. In fact, number 8 is both DCYPHERs. DCYPHER, how can you get it so wrong? The colour match was terrible. My replacement wasn't an awful lot better, and I changed it by 2 shades. I don't like the way it applies on the skin. I think it feels oily on the skin. It doesn't settle on the skin. It just rests on top. Sorry, DCYPHER, you failed. Number 7 is a tough one, and I'm actually pushed because I'm going to go for the Laura Geller, and the only reason being is I think it's a very light, fresh, natural coverage, but I use the word coverage very sparingly. This is a video about foundation, and that doesn't really create what I would say is a foundation look, although I do like it. Number 6 is actually the Estée Lauder Double Wear. It's a great product. This is a lovely foundation. It's just not a lovely foundation for mature skin. I think it makes skin look older and drier. So Estée Lauder, I'm very, very sorry. Nice foundation, just not for mature women. Number 5, I'm surprised at. This is my L'Oreal BB Cream. I've raved about this in a previous video. I've just found something that is better, and that's the reason it's coming in at number 5. It does a nice job, but there is better. Number 4 is actually tied between 2 products, and I'm a bit devastated because one of them is my L'Oreal True Match Nude Foundation, and this has been my favourite foundation. My last couple of videos, I've raved about it. It is a lovely foundation. Yes, I really like the foundation. Same thing again, I've just found better. Next to it, I'm putting my Il Makiage. I really liked this on the skin. I would say the Il Makiage is a sort of heavier coverage than the True Match. That's a softer coverage, but I can't say which is better or worse. I think they are both good foundations. I just have got something that's a little bit better. Number 2 is my LUXE foundation, and it's come in second because of the ease of application and the fact actually it had a really lovely fresh coverage. Your skin can glow through it, and it didn't settle into fine lines. You can put this on, you can wear heavier eye makeup, you could put contour and blusher on and your lipstick, and I think you would look beautifully made up. It's a very lovely texture on the skin. It doesn't cake at all. I think it's lovely. So number 1, yeah, you can see it, is my Victoria Beckham foundation drops. I just love them. It is an investment. If you want to know more about them, I did make a video and you can watch that video here. I bought these, I paid for these were not gifted, and so I have no impact. Victoria Beckham, if you'd like to gift me your makeup, I will very happily make more videos, but this is me giving you a genuine review, and I like those. Before you start spending over £100 on a foundation, go to the Victoria Beckham counter and get them to do your makeup and see how it feels. Don't buy it there and then. Go outside, look in the mirror and see in daylight, and just walk around with it for a few hours before you make a decision. I really hope that has helped you in looking at foundation. It is a minefield and it can be overwhelming. When buying foundation, don't just go and buy one by testing it on the back of your hand. You need to test it on your neck down here, and then you need to go outside into daylight and see it, because the back of your hand is different to the skin covering on your face. So to try and get the perfect match, do that, but go and have a look in daylight. I'm now going to give myself a very relaxing and nourishing facial and put on a lovely soothing face mask, because I've cleansed and toned my skin several times over the past hour, and I think the skin just needs a little bit of a break. 2 little requests before you go. 1, if you haven't yet subscribed, why not? Give a subscribe, a like and a share. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to download my free guide, The 12 Makeup Mistakes That Age You. It's a great place to start. And I also would highly recommend you watch these 2 videos next. Thank you so much again for being here. Do take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.